expecting blooming hell. I was expecting, oh, this is what you want, the bread. Oh, thank you. Oi, you! Come back here, you rat!
Fun. For a sort of period and heritage piece, it was actually just really interesting. I mean, obviously a bit sensationalized, I guess. I wasn't there, I don't know. But it felt authentic, but again, like sort of sensational. And it was just a lot of fun to watch. Just really interesting faces. The characters were great. The wardrobe, the makeup, all that was just felt like spot on. Definitely enjoyed it. Absolutely recommend checking it out.
It has a snippet of time in encapsulation, and we have a good understanding. It was very well produced, excellent characters, excellent dressing, excellent costuming, everything else. So I have a good sense of what it might have actually been like back in the early 1800s.
My first impression was that apparently the people of 1814 really know how to party. The children sure know how to steal as well. And I'm not sure if I should feel comforted or not that through the times and the disconnect between the rich and the poor is very much intact in 2020. However, that being said, overall it was a fun period piece with great costumes and a really cool set. And I like the stencils of the characters at the end credits too.
I thought it was really interesting subject matter. I'd never heard about it before. And, for a short film, it was pretty impressive, the period piece, the costumes, and, all of these different things going on. It seemed like sort of it could be turned into, it would be a really interesting setting for a feature film. That's sort of what it felt like to me. But, as the camera was moving through all these different, aspects of the fair, it was sort of like each part had its own story going on, which I liked. I thought it was really impressive for a short film, like really ambitious. And even though there wasn't a lot of dialogue going on, like I said, each element sort of had its own story, and so the feel of it was there, the atmosphere was there, so I thought it was really well done, really interesting.
Really an interesting piece. The way that it shows us a time and place in history that we might not be very familiar with because it's not necessarily traditionally taught to us, whether it's in school or just in our daily lives. It contains some really impressive production design also, from the sets to the beautiful costumes and the acting, which is both subtle and realistic, but also displays some great talent in terms of things like, sword swallowing and juggling and all of that. It really is an engrossing piece of cinema that, again, informs us about a time in history that really was just a blink of the eye in the grander scheme of things. And it's really touching.
So interesting. I sort of experienced it as a proof of concept sort of film, and it works, and it certainly brought flashbacks to that lovely sequence in Virginia Woolf's Orlando where they're on the ice, because in the 1814 little ice age there, and I thought of course the visuals, the makeup, all the stuff going on. I mean, it must have just been such a feat directorially to get all of those people engaged and to cover them, and then to zero in on people here and there, the pickpockets and stealing the bread, and the soldier going in the tent, and the person with the ring on her foot. We just got to see these little glimpses of people, and I just thought, it was aesthetically, the production design was fantastic. I would love to see this develop into a larger narrative, like to follow that pickpocket, or follow the bread person, or I think we're following one person, but actually we end up following another.
I love this because it was such an interesting little piece of history I knew nothing about. And it was done with this beautiful dissonance of being both kind of wildly chaotic and fun and wacky with a Tim Burton-esque flair, but also was so bleak in the colors, and the music seemed to kind of drag on just a little bit like a music box that was running out of steam. And yeah, all of the set dressing, the cast of characters, the costuming was super convincing, and I want to know more about this time, and I'd love to see something, this project extended.